Dobry den.
Relocating.
And welcome back to our little Bulgarian adventure. The week started with a trip to the vets.
Yes, we had to take the tabbies in this week.
Yeah, to get them spayed. Always traumatic.
Absolutely. We're allowed to take 2 at a time, so we thought we'd better get the 2 tabbies done so that we knew which ones had been done. Doing 1 tabby would cause us issues.
Yes, we might not be able to recognise it if we'd left it too long before we did the other one.
Yes. So, yes, they went in on Monday.
And it was fairly traumatic, wasn't it?
It was, yes.
Max had also decided he would join us for a day out.
Yes, he just fancied wandering around Targovishti to see what was there.
He wanted a mooch.
He did.
So we did discover the public park while we were waiting.
Yep.
Which looks very nice. It'll be much nicer in the summer, so we'll take some photos then.
Yep. But yes, we went back to collect the kittens.
And we had all our levs that we'd drawn out, ready to pay for it all.
Yep.
And I got in there and the vet said, we've had a bit of a problem.
At that point, it could have been anything.
Yeah, your heart sinks, doesn't it? It turns out that our local vets is also concurrently running a neutering programme for female cats in Targovishti.
Yes.
But at the time when they do it, it's free for people to use. They take a little nick out of the ears to prove that the cats have been done. And because she'd been doing so many of these, she automatically did it to ours.
Yes, so our cats have been marked as being neutered, but for street cats.
Yeah, so they've got a tiny little notch taken out of their ears. She was really apologetic and very sorry to have done it, and wouldn't take any payment for the neutering at all.
No.
I did offer to make a donation, and she's going to speak to the charity to see if they have, and when we take the next 2 in next week, to see if they'll accept a donation from us. So we're more than halfway there with neutering the cats.
Well, the female ones, certainly.
Yes, we've got 1 female to go.
We've got Calico to go, and the ginger and white cat will also go on Monday. Just leaves Engelbert as the only unoperated on cat after Monday.
Yeah, which he will go the following week, won't he, Adam?
So Lynn tells me.
I think Adam doesn't want him to go. He shares a bond with Engelbert.
Yeah, absolutely.
So the dogs have been doing well. They're putting on a lot more weight.
Yes, and they can all now sit on command.
Yes. Not sure about staying. Staying's still a little bit iffy, but we're getting there.
Yeah. The names are still to be decided. So any more suggestions, gratefully accepted. We have a few favourites, but we'll let you know once we've decided.
Yeah. So after a nice start to the week on Monday and Tuesday, the weather turned on Wednesday.
It did. We had rain for the first time for a while. Although, having said that, this time last year we had snow. So
we're doing well.
It's not quite so bad. But it did mean that it curtailed some of the things we could do. Tuesday we filled up the rest of the raised bed. We were planning on doing some woodland work, but rain stopped play. So instead we did this. Today we have rain. We have a lot of rain. We've had some lovely days at the start of the week, but now the rain has set in. I need to find something to do, and as you can see, I need to tidy up down here, start the wood processing and just get things moving. So as I'm undercover here, that's something I can do. So I think that's today's plan. This is where we store our wood this year. These bays have served us perfectly well this year, but as often happens when you start a job like this, we've decided to relocate them. They're going to the other end of the barn, so before we start processing the wood, we've got to move the wood bays. We'll be moving the bays up to this corner, which, although further from the house, is actually nearer the woodland where we get the wood from. If you remember last year, I processed the wood at this end, so it makes sense to have the bays at this end, save me lugging it backwards and forwards. It also frees up the other end for another project that we'll tell you about in the future. But yes, it's time to have a bit of a reorganise before we start stacking the wood. I've now cleared the wood, sorted it into different size piles, ready for building the new bays. There's a line of mud brick there that shows where the end of the bay is going to be. I'm just now working out the best way of building them. So that's the framework completed. I've got to put some struts down the sides to keep the wood in. On the far end, the gap between the other side of the bay and the wall will be bay 2. But I don't need to put any support on that. It's a freestanding structure. Give us somewhere to store the wood once we process it. We finished off the sides with just some wood from the woodlands. Sticks off trees, nice straight ones, screwed into the side just to retain the piles of wood once we put them in there. This gives a nice rustic finish to the sides, and we now have our bays ready for the wood when we process it. Over the next few weeks we'll be processing the wood that we've got from trees being felled and tidying up the woodland. The prepared wood will go in the bays. We won't show you all the chopping and cutting and sawing. But,
I might show you the filled bays, because Abby gets quite proud of them when they're filled.
It's the fruit of my labours. As we had the rain this week, I thought I'd do one of my other indoor activities, and that's I cure my own bacon. It's quite easy to do, and this is how I do it. You can see we have 1.43 kilograms of pork loin. It's cost a total of 8.14. It's on special offer at Kaufland, but loin is generally what you use for bacon, and they weighed it for me. To cure the bacon, we need curing salt and sugar. We need 3% of the weight of the pork loin in salt and 1.5% in sugar, which, as you can see from the calculation, gives us around 43 grams of salt and 21.5 grams of sugar. These are mixed together and then rubbed onto the pork. It's actually very easy to make bacon. All you need to do is cure it. To do that, you need curing salt and sugar. The salt is just normal salt with the addition of a nitrate. This gives the pork its pink colour. The sugar is just normal granulated sugar. They're mixed together and then applied to the pork. We now have to weigh out the salt and the sugar to get the correct quantities. We're after 43 grams, and that's the 43 grams. Now we need 21.5 or 22 grams of sugar. There, just like that. We can then add the salt to the sugar, and that is our mixture ready to put on the loin. We've thoroughly mixed the salt and the sugar. Now we need to apply it to the loin. The easiest way is just to sprinkle some on with a spoon. Put about half on each side. It doesn't matter if any falls off the edge because it's in the baking tray, and we can use that again. And we just gently rub it in. Turn it over and do exactly the same on the other side. The next step is to get the pork loin into a vacuum bag. You don't have to use a vacuum bag, but I find it easier. We now use the vacuum sealer to seal the bag with the pork loin in it. Now the sealer extracts the air and seals the bag. As you can see, Engelbert's desperate to get in to have a go at the pork loin. He can come in a minute when it's in the fridge. Now that we've vacuum sealed the pork loin, it goes into the fridge for 2 weeks, being turned every day. After that it's ready to slice up, bag up, and, well, if you're really hungry, eat. You don't need a vacuum sealer to do this. You can do it in a bag on a baking tray. You just got to be careful with when it extracts the moisture from the meat, that the meat doesn't just go all over the bottom of your fridge. But yep, that's how you make bacon. And with bacon currently in Lidl, the English bacon, at £6.99 for 300 grams. This 1.5 kilograms, which will turn into that much bacon, has cost me under 10 lev.
In other news, a lot of the COVID restrictions were lifted here yesterday.
They have been.
So bars and restaurants now, it's up to the owner's discretion whether you need a certificate or not.
And as of the 20th of March, apparently, they're doing away with the need of the green certificate totally in Bulgaria. You'll only need it for international travel.
That's about it for us this week.
Yes, it is. That's all the news from this corner of Bulgaria.
Yeah, nothing too exciting, but nice weather, few English days.
Yeah.
And back to nice weather again. We are supposed to be getting colder next week, but we'll see.
Yeah, we'll keep you posted, but until next week.
Stay safe.
Stay well.
Do skoro.
Do skoro.